Customer service is breaking down. Workers are fed up, customers are frustrated, and nobody is happy. Welcome and good evening, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered Talk Radio. I'm your host, Chris, and we're going to dive right into it. So customer service and attitudes are becoming a major point of tension. Workers, customers, and companies are all feeling the pressure. So I'm going to tell you that the average worker in the United States is making anywhere from like $13 to $17 an hour. And folks, some people are just feeling it's not enough. And I get it, part-time work, minimum wage. It's kind of hard to make a living on that now, especially with the cost of living going up. I did have a chance to interview a guy named Jacob, local crew member here, and he states that his store pays him $15 an hour, and he's barely making by at 30 hours a week. So it's houses around here for if you wanted a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, you're gonna pay anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 unless you live in a better part of the neighborhood. And then you got some parts that are more expensive than that. But it's crazy that we have to live off of 15 an hour, and you're only getting 30 hours a week. And at 30 hours a week, some companies are not even offering health insurance, and we're not even going to get into health insurance because I'm going to tell you that's another subject for another time. But it is definitely a game changer, and it's things like that kind of makes employees really frustrated with things, and and then it turns out to be onto the customer. You get nothing too. I got a guy named John. John works. He's been working for the company for 15 years. Feels there's no respect. He says, it's been over 5 years since he saw a raise, and he's making the same amount of money that people coming into the company are making. So, 15 years ago, he's making a lot less than 15 an hour, obviously. But he is now making right at what they're making. And, he had to put 15 years in before he saw what, they've done. Honestly, in my opinion, one thing that is causing workers to feel overstressed and overworked is not having enough crew members, not enough pay to even survive. Pay your bills, feed your family, put gas in your car, let alone the high insurance rates that's continuously going up, it seems. And on top of that, customers feeling disrespected. You got employees feeling disrespected. It's all around the board that everybody's feeling disrespected, rushed, underpaid. I'm not just in restaurants. We've got factories that are laying off people, and they're getting laid off and not even offering a good severance pay. Like when my grandfather, he worked for Ford, and when he retired, he had a really good pension, a really good retirement plan. He had a great benefits package. And I spoke to someone probably about, over 10 years ago, and he said that the pension, the retirement, the severance, all that is not the same. He's like, it's barely paying the bills. You got people that are having to work until their 70s. Like, wow. Like, I could not imagine having to work until I'm like 70, 80, and they're just dying on the line, But when you think about it, we can't afford to not work. And that's really sad to say that the cost of living has gotten that bad, and the government's not helping us without any. They're just raising the taxes, in my opinion. And where's the help for the little guy? Where's the help for the middle guy? I like to see some of these, big Democrats and Republicans and all that, just made all the major politicians to say that, and all come down and have to work one day. Maybe not, one day is not enough. Let's say 2 weeks in our position, making what we make in 2 weeks, and tell me that you can survive off of that. And we want to know why people are aggravated, why people are frustrated. I mean, granted, it's not an excuse on why we're giving bad customer service, but I mean, still, it's not the point. The point is we're not paid enough to survive. And when we see the people up on top, surviving and doing all this, and it's like, do you even know what it's like to struggle one day in your life? I don't think they do. And folks, that's just going to be one of those things we're going to touch today on. I want to touch on customer service. Mainly fast food, because I see this a lot in fast foods. We've got younger crew members, which it's where young people in their 15, 16 years are going to have to start. Not exactly a lot of places for your ideal teenagers to get their first job. Unless you live in a spot where there's a lot of golf clubs and stuff like that, I worked when I was 15. I had a job as a caddy, and I had it. It was a great job, but not everybody around is going to have the opportunity to have a job like that. And so when you drive up to your everyday fast food restaurant, you may get someone who says, welcome to McDonald's, welcome to Wendy's, welcome to here. But now AI has taken over that. So I think part of that is because with not getting enough money coming in, kids just want to have fun. They want to be kids. And I feel like that's something that kids don't want to do. They don't want to work. Especially for that kind of money. But I would say if I was a kid those days, I mean, $15 an hour is quite more than what I made. I mean, I made $7.50 an hour, and I worked maybe 10, 15 hours a week while going to school. So, I mean, it was a lot of money, but we just don't see customer service like it was back in my day. I feel that people are more welcoming back then. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome to McDonald's. What can I get for you? It's not like that anymore. You either get the stink eye or you get the straight up attitude. Like, I went to Texas Roadhouse one time, and I had just sat down. I wanted some bread. Normally they grab the bread when you walk by and ask, hey, do you want some bread? Oh, yes, I do. Thank you. They didn't. Lady came over, and I was like, ma'am, can we get some rolls, please, with the cinnamon butter? And she stomps off and comes back, slams it on the table, and takes off. Didn't even order my drink. I didn't even get my chance my drink, and we'll get more into that later in the segment. But I mean, it's just kind of getting onto the subject of customer service is just not the same. It's really not the same. It's really has become almost like a thing in the past. Like, we're just new times. I get it, new times, but that's one thing that should not go with a good time. New times is customer service. I feel that's something that should always be a priority, but also the way customers treat employees as well. I mean, it goes both ways, folks, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna get more into that throughout the segment. Another thing that's contributing to, poor customer service and frustrated workers are gonna be your short-staffed. So, like, they're short-staffed, same amount of work, just less employees, but guess what? They're getting paid the same thing. They're having to do the same amount of work, but if not more. You're getting people who have to act as managers because managers are calling off, And the only really the ones that really are suffering are really the employees, but not just that, the customers. The customers are suffering too because they are getting the backlash because everybody is just rush, 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 and there's no more of the customer service. I see people act so much different now with customer service, and it's also like, for example, like if you order the wrong food, um, it's customers are like, "Oh, I didn't order this," and then employees are like, "Oh, you didn't say that," and it's like, do you take the time to listen? Do you take the time to just quickly judge? And I think a lot of them are just so rush, rush, rush that I tried to explain to them, like, I ordered this way, and if you had taken the time to slow down instead of rushing to get me out of the line, because corporate is, so worried about these drive-through times that they would have actually got to hear what my order was. But I mean, it's not everybody's fault in the employee side of things, because being trained is also being rushed. I'm seeing this firsthand everywhere. I'm hearing it everywhere. I've interviewed many people, and they're saying we don't get the full on training like you would think. And not only does it cause the frustration because you're trying to do your job and someone's yelling at you, can't you do your job right? Well, I can do my job right because this is how I was shown to do my job. And when it's not right, it's like, oh, well, so-and-so taught me this and this and this. And they're like, well, they were wrong. Well, if they're wrong, then please show me. But that's the thing. It's not just the employee. The employer is messing up too by not offering the proper job tools and training to go with the job. Also, you got personal stress. You got people that might come in and say, hey, I'm having a bad fucking day. Well, guess what? We're all having a bad day, but that's things that is also contributing to poor customer service. Is customer has bad day, they take it out on employee. Employee said has bad day, they take it out on the employee, or they just say, screw it, I don't really care about my job, and today I'm just going to sit on my phone. Now, I do walk into places, I do see people on their phone a lot of the times, and you got to sit there and like, excuse me, is this someone going to help me? It takes it that level, and we shouldn't. Like, what happened to walking in to a place and being greeted? You definitely don't see that at Walmart much anymore. Every now and then you might see someone like, oh, welcome to Walmart. But I don't see soft greetings anymore. You go to places that strive on, oh, welcome, like Moe's. Welcome to Moe's. Not every welcome to Moe's do that. Welcome to Menchie's. Another place. Well, Menchie's, okay, we're in Florida. Menchie's is an Ohio thing, a northern thing. I might be about down south or somewhere, but I haven't ran into one yet. But it don't happen like it used to. And that's what I'm getting at, folks. It's customer service just plain sucks. And employees are getting it because customers are fighting back. They're like, I don't want to deal with your attitude. Then you ask for the manager. Then the manager comes in. And they're like, rah, 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 rah. And I'm like, and I've had to tell managers, like, look, I'm going to call your boss. And I'm like, well, good luck. We're franchised. That's another thing, too, about customer service is they're franchised. Not everybody you go to is going to be a corporate, so you don't have the big wigs. You have one guy in charge of multiple places, and good luck trying to get a hold of them because, unlike other places, they're just not easily accessible. But that's just one thing that's getting into it is that personal feelings, personal problems are coming into the workplace. My work, I tell people, you having a bad day, that's fine. That's great. But guess what? The minute you step out of this van, it stops right there. I don't want to see it at the door. Don't want to see it inside the house. our customer service is across the board the same way all the time. If it's not, you don't fit here. Another thing too is technology. Technology's coming into play to things. Everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody's got a cell phone, even a flip phone. You know, the guy on Facebook, oh, I'm in Florida. Well, I'm going to grab my flip phone. Gotta get on my flip phone. So it seems to be that things happen when people have a cell phone. And like, oh, well, you see the two employees fighting over something so stupid, but it doesn't matter. It takes one person recording on a phone, and they don't want to be recorded. Or they're one of those people that get in the spotlight. Oh, I'm on the phone. Now I'm going to act like worse than it's almost like Jerry Springer. I've seen on Facebook a while back, it went viral. It was two employees at a local Waffle House. That's it, Waffle House. And they just went brawled out. I mean, it was horrible. And we still don't know what the fight was about, but it don't matter. The fact is that it made it over the internet. And folks, you got to think about how you act in public. Whether you're interacting with each other, your friends, customers, employees, managers, you got to think about that. Sometimes folks just it gets too much where you take a glass of milk and you keep filling it up. Well, life is the same way. You keep filling that cup up, it's probably just going to explode all over the place. You got a milk mess everywhere. Customer service and customers and employees interacting are the same way. You get too much hot mess going on and someone doesn't come in the middle and stop it, then it's just going to overflow. And like I said, people are going to get their phones out. It's going to be all over the internet. The next thing you know, that business is blasted all over the world. They're talking about it in China, Japan, you know it, you name it. They got it. It takes 5 minutes. And I see viral videos all the time where they're fighting. And one person got in a fight over a freaking cold fry. Like, I ordered hot fries. And then they're like, well, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. This was why they're cold. The customer did not like excuses. And I get it. No one likes excuses. Excuses are like assholes. Everybody's got one. That was something my teacher told me back in the day when I turned my homework in late. And I'm like, oh, well, I didn't do this. And he says, son, I'm going to tell you, you have an excuse for everything. And excuses are like assholes. Everybody's got one. So another thing too is people are being divided. You know, you got customers walking into restaurants thinking that we are like you're going to a 5-star fucking restaurant. You know, if you walk in to Wendy's and you order a chicken BLT with large fry, blah blah blah. Okay, and you're like, oh well, I expect it now because it's fast food, right? Well, okay, but what if they ran out of chicken? You got to put down chicken. You know, you gotta just wait a little bit. But the thing is people are like, this is a fast food restaurant. I expect my food fast. But then again, you get your food fast, then it's like, oh well, now my food's too cold. I'm like, okay, what do you want? I mean, we pay for hot food. Granted, we do pay for hot food, and we want our food hot. But if you want a steak, well, you're not gonna go to the hamburger joint for a steak. It's kind of like going to a major steakhouse and ordering a piece of chicken. You know, it's like, yes, we have diversity, because you have to have everything on the menu. But I mean, it's the same sense. You know, you go in to a restaurant and you want piping fresh food. You're going to a fast food restaurant, you want piping fresh food, but you want it at the quality of going into a 5-star restaurant. Just like we've got, employers treating employees like they're a Fortune 500 company. Like, they're a top dog facility, and you're paying minimum wage. Yeah, no, that's not a that's not a Fortune 500 companies, folks. We're not working for no Google and stuff like that. You're working, depending on what your job is. If you're working, whether you're working 9 to 5, 5 to 11, 7 to 11, 11 to, whatever, you pick your job and you do it the best of your ability. You do it to your best knowledge, and you kind of just do it the way you were shown. And if you start getting burned out, then it's time to just make a walk away, find something else. That's why they're called, jobs. They come and go. If you find a job that you love, guess what? You'll never work a day in your life. That's something my grandfather always taught me was, son, if you ever find a day in your job that you don't feel happy, you walk away. But if you love your job, then you don't work at all. And I never understood what he meant, but I love my job. I love what I do. I work with families every day, and there's times I wouldn't trade it for the moment, and then there's times where I just want to walk away. And it's not because of the job itself; it's because of how people are acting in today's society, whether it's with families or with each other. We're just it's like these people working these days. It's like going to high school. It's high school drama, and I'm like, we're not in high school, folks. If you wanted to be in high school, go back to high school. Go get a time machine. Go back in the time. Go back to high school, because this is the real world. This is adult life. I know adulting sucks sometimes. We got bills to pay. Kids aren't going to understand that. They're 15 years old. Their first jobs are, they're working just to get a little bit of money so they can go buy that next game or their pair of shoes. But I tell them, like, if you work, you deserve it. But in the same sense, you got to earn. You got to learn what it's like to work and what you need to work and everything else. You have to know the responsibilities behind working, and customer service comes along with that. And customer service should be the number one priority. When I worked at a factory, we would have our motto was, if you wouldn't give it to your own grandmother or your own mother, don't build it. Don't make it. Don't build it. Don't send it. Don't sell it. That was the motto. Is it me, folks, or when I sometimes when you go to Walmart, for instance, I'm just gonna say, just use Walmart as an example, that it feels like the workers think we're bothering them, like we're just. That's one of those things where I will say that customer service has taken a dive, except for when a new Walmart does open. I mean, everybody was there. It was pretty nice, actually. Ring a bell, and the worker and the manager showed up. But I go in there and I'm like, hey, can you please help me find this? And you know what they do? Instead of walking you to it, they're like, oh, look on your phone. It's in aisle 5. Okay, well, where's aisle 5? Well, look at your phone. If you have your phone, you can go to this app, walmart.com, and we can see where the acts are. But you walk into Walmart, you don't see employees. You don't see them anywhere unless it's time to walk out, clock out, and you might see one every now and then walking by, like, hey, can I get some help? Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm off the clock. Okay, can we get someone that does work back here? Oh, yeah, give me a second, I'll pay someone. And then you get that, 10 minutes, 15 minutes later, it goes by, 20. Like, man, where are they at? They're not around. They're in the back. I asked for someone one time, like, hey, can you get someone here in electronics? I need to grab something real quick. Oh, yeah, I'll go grab them because they're not here. I had to walk around the store for 20 minutes before I found someone, and they went to the back and actually found someone. But it's like, folks, where's the customers? But also, we do get customers that, make the employees feel like servants. And they're like, oh, well, can you take me to this place and take me to do this and take me to do this? Get them to grab this, grab this, grab this. I want. So it does kind of go both ways. So, I mean, that's just one example. Like, someone always expects something for nothing, it seems. And does that have a lot to do with customer service? Nah, not really, but this is why it's Unfiltered Talk Radio. Things are gonna pop in my head, and I'm gonna talk about it. And Walmart is just one of those things that just drives me crazy. But I'll tell you what, I only go there when I really need something. Other than that, I go to Amazon and order my stuff. All right, folks, I'm going to ask you, what do you think is worse? Do you think customer service is worse than rude employees, or rude employees are worse than rude customers? I don't know why I said rude customer service, but I meant to say, do you find rude customers worse than rude employees? Drop your comments in the below or wherever you can. Or you can send me an email. I'm going to attach my email to here too. So for any comments and stuff like that, because folks, I want to know your intake on this, because I'll ask me personally. I see it both ways. Rude employees are no better than rude customers. We can't just start singling them out and saying, well, this one's worse than this and this, but everybody has their opinion. Everybody feels how they feel about whether rude customers are worse than rude employees, but it all depends on how rude the customer is. Actually, if way I see some of these customers, I'll tell you what, I'd rather see a rude employee, because to me, most of the rude employees I see, you just don't see them, or they brush you off and walk away. I'd rather have someone walk away than start going ape crap on me because they didn't like something you said, something you did, or way you look, or anything like that. Another question I'm going to ask you folks, and you can do the same thing with this question too. Has anybody ever walked out due to bad customer service? Oh my, yes, I have so many times. So many times. One being that, remember I was telling you about the Texas Roadhouse, where the lady literally just took the rolls and chucked the basket on the table. And I'll tell you, I do not like things being thrown at me. And I walked out, did not pay for my drinks, because I didn't get any drinks. I did eat a roll. I did eat a roll because I love the rolls. And the manager asked me, why I was leaving without ordering. And I told him, I was like, look, you did not throw food at me. Even though they physically did not throw the roll at me like we're in a food fight. But I'm sorry if you chuck a basket of rolls on the table at me, and I'm just going to walk away, because I'm not going to tip you, which is going to piss you off. That's another thing too, that's contributing to customer complaints is, they feel, a lot of people don't tip when they go out to eat. Now, I'm sorry if I'm just going to touch that for a little brief second, because tipping is another subject at another show. But I'm just going to say that if you get good service, you'll get good tips. If you don't, I don't believe you should deserve a tip. But some jobs don't pay enough to accommodate people not tipping these days, and that's another thing that contributes to the whole rudeness. But that's still no excuse. So, folks, I want to know, have you ever walked out due to a rude customer service experience? If so, when and where and why? What happened? Explain what kind of happened, because I'm really curious on, knowing your input on this. And, like I said, I'm going to put my email in for the business. It's uncontrolledmic@gmail.com. And like I said, I'll put that in the emails in the description as well. And folks, I just want to know. And I'll be reading each one of them. And along with that, comment the questions that I asked. Also, you guys can go ahead and drop your mini story, because here I'm going to give you a mini short story. So today, I went into Discount Tire over in the Jacksonville area, over by the airport. And, well, I dropped my van off probably about 10:45, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and drop my van off, as we always do with my job. We always just drop them off. They take care of us, because we are always in there. Like, we have probably, I'd say, 25 fleet, if not more, vans on top of my boss, he also takes his personal vehicles to Discount Tire. And we've never had an issue of getting in, getting out. And I saw a man and a woman in plain clothes, mind you. And somehow they had a connection because they went behind the counter, started typing on the computer, checked themselves in, did not talk to anybody. But guess what? Everybody was watching them. Like there was probably 3 people around them on the computer. And I'm like, what about the people in the line? And so the one guy's like, oh, well, we're just busy. You're busy because there's 3 of you around this computer for this other couple. Then they get the customer's number, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to let you know when we move the van, when we move your truck, when we get it in the shop, when we touch it, when it's done. Expect your vehicle to be done about 12:45. None whatsoever. I gave the guy my key, and I normally go to Fleming Island or Orange Park, but mostly I go to Fleming Island. Colton over there is an awesome guy. There's a great team of guys over there at the Fleming Island location, but I'm gonna say they're great, and I'll get to that here in a second. But I had finally just said, "Hey, can I drop it off and give the key?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, you're next one up to go into the off the late list to go into the bay." Okay, so normally they go out with me and they'll check my tires, let me know, "Hey, this tire and this tire you replaced, or you're good." And so I was like, okay, well, just call me and text me when things are done. Oh, yeah, sir. We'll go ahead, take your number down, and we'll text you as soon as we get in the bay. Well, it comes about 12 o'clock, and I haven't heard anything yet. So I went ahead and made a phone call, and I says, hey, just checking in on my work, man. And they're like, oh, yeah, it'll be done about 1 o'clock, about 1:05 today. It was really specific. So we got out there a little later than, I got there about 1:45, and I was, they're like, oh, let's grab your key. Oh, great, So I'm waiting there thinking I'm going to go get something else done after I get the key. The guy comes back and says, oh, well, we haven't gotten your van in yet. I was like, well, what do you mean? I was like, I just called, and you told me at 1:05 that, well, someone told me to be done at 1:05. Well, we can't help that. We took some more walk-ins before getting to your van, and we just suggest that you just next time do an appointment. And I was like, well, I've done appointments before with you guys in other locations, and my car has still sat for 2 or 3 hours. It's kind of like going to a dealership and schedule an appointment and still sitting there for 2 or 3 hours. It's like going to a doctor's office and you're sitting there and you're like, oh, my appointment's at 10:30, 11:30, you're going back. And then you're waiting for another 30 minutes for the doctor to come in. So customer service, again, is horrible everywhere. It's not just in fast food. But I will say, though, so I drove over to Discount Tire in Fleming Island, spoke to Colton. Colton says, hey, it's going to be about 45 minutes, no big deal. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to put my story together, and I'm going to kind of figure out what I need to do. And then 20 minutes later, it was at 2:15 I get there. 2:20, they're taking my car into the bay. And at 2:30, I think like 2:30, 2:35, I'm walking out the door, and I'm like, guys, I'm going to have to definitely call your boss. And they're like, hope that's a good thing. I'm like, no, folks. It's great. You guys did amazing. I felt like I was in the NASCAR for a second because you guys got me in, got me out. You guys were packed, but you still were you're dealing with customers the way I remember seeing customer service. And I have to give that a shout out. So final takeaway from this is a simple, we never truly know what someone's dealing with. And that's what matters. We got to treat each other like human beings, folks. Life gets frustrating, and sometimes people just react in ways that just seem extreme out of character. But comparison goes a long, long way. And folks, I just want to thank you again for tuning in and supporting the channel. Until next episode, I wish each and every single one of you a peaceful night.